somewhat of a special video. It is going to be the last review that I put on my channel with this old school Nikon Classic Pix S33 camera, and I'm moving on to a high-def Sony camera. It's going to be awesome. Stay tuned to my channel for a much better picture, much better sound, but in the meantime, we're doing it old school style, like usual. It's Friday, hanging with the boys. I got Dale, I got John, I got Ben hanging out over here at the far left, and we're doing a special review. Ben, what did you bring tonight, man?
Today I brought ICHI the Killer, directed by Takashi Miike.
Yes.
Big stuff.
Yeah, it's a classic movie. Anyone that claims to be a cinephile has to have seen ICHI the Killer at some point. We really wanted to watch this movie and review it on the channel because John's never actually seen it before.
This one slid through the wickets along the way.
Yes.
That'll happen.
It's a notorious film.
Wickets.
We've all seen it.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, it's a
these
classic.
guys have hyped it up forever. It's come out like maybe this time, like this is like the 7th or 8th time that we've actually tried to maybe watch this movie. So fucking finally here.
Yes.
We're gonna go out with a bang, I guess, because these guys have talked this up a bunch. But I have a feeling it's going to deliver despite the hype it has been given.
Yeah, it's a notorious film, but we're going to get right to the movie. Peep the trailer. We'll be right back, guys, with the review of ICHI, the motherfucking killer. I feel like this movie was kind of a trial for everybody in the room. And when it began, I thought it was great revisiting this movie because there were certain things that I was kind of gaining from it that I didn't appreciate upon my first watch, back in the early 2000s. The acting is superb, in my opinion. There is a lot of insane characters, a lot of crazy situations, a lot of kinetic camera work, and it kind of carries you along with this constant flow of insanity for probably the first hour, in my opinion. I feel like the movie is engaging from that perspective. And if you know anything about Takashi Miike, or maybe even the manga, ICHI the Killer, I mean, that should come as no surprise to anyone that's, coming into this movie. I mean, this movie is batshit insane. So, that's kind of a given. But, I have to say this. As the movie went on, I felt like it was a little too long. Almost to the point of where I thought, maybe this should have been 2 movies.
Wow, I'm still kind of processing this bit of cinema here. It started off great. The cinematography sucked me right in, and I'm kind of following along, and it was kind of hard to follow through, but I'm going to chug through this and see if I can't get it to wrap up, into some kind of story, which it kind of did, but it just completely all unraveled at the end, honestly. I don't like suddenly the guy doesn't have the wound in the forehead there in that scene. Like, wait a minute. And then he's alive, just sitting in the corner of his torture room.
Yeah.
Like, how did I even get to that, you wonder? Like, how did we get here? I mean, there was a lot of kind of characters to start to follow and latch on to, but it never really followed anybody so far. Like, even Ichi himself, I suppose when he was in the scene, sometimes people were talking about him a little, but even then, yeah, there was plenty of scenes where you almost forgot about him, it seems. Like, they were starting to kind of develop other characters and lead you on a certain path, and it's like, I don't know, when you finally get done walking the path you think you were walking, like, it's a nothing.
And yes, towards that further along, you follow the trail of the story, it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. But all in all, it's a whodunit. Who's the killer? And trying to track him down. And I really like how this movie ended up and the way they went about it. You can definitely tell the director's styling is in this film hardcore. In the cinematography and the way he goes about doing things. And it was a treat to see after a long, long time.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while for at least.
Still a tasty morsel.
Honestly, as much of a grind as it was, it really would benefit from a rewatch. I can really appreciate it for what it is. It was really, whatever this is, it's really well done.
Yes, definitely a decadent film to say the very least. Ben, thank you for bringing it over, but we gotta. You've seen it how many times now, man? Right?
I mean, that's probably at least the fifth time.
It's the fifth
I've
time.
seen it a lot.
And you've said before that this is kind of like your go-to, like you could put on a party or something like that, and it wins people over, right? I mean, it's just so ballistic.
You know, my one, I guess, complaint would be it is long. It's definitely long.
Right.
But then, interestingly enough, there is a sequel. So it's like,
Oh,
yeah,
jeez.
there's another movie that doesn't have Kakihara, who's on the cover, but has Ichi still. And I don't know if it covers more of his backstory or if it goes to the future. I haven't seen it, but there are other things film-wise that exist of this with the same actor that played Ichi. But I feel like this movie, you know, there's a lot of different things in it that I think people can appreciate, and I think that's why it's kind of good to show people, whether it's, you know, if you're someone that's into like fashion and clothing, all of the outfits are like, they stick out. Like, you remember
was on
them.
point, like it was wild.
Yeah,
for sure.
Costume design is memorable. Even the music, you know, there's like this
Soundtrack was crazy.
Western style like trumpet music, and then there's like kinetic punk rock music, and that's memorable. I will say the character on the cover, Kakihara, is far more memorable in my opinion than Ichi. I feel like, you know, he's this like sadomasochist. He likes inflicting pain, but also getting pain. And you're mainly following him trying to find who killed his boss. And I think between the music, the costume design, the acting, the blood squibs, the action, even though it's long, it's worth watching. And maybe the first time around you won't love it, but it's something that you can find things to appreciate and maybe like it more with the second watch. That's what happened with me.
Dale, what would you give Ichi the Killer, man?
8.5, 8.5 all day.
Awesome, man. And for me, I gotta say, like, revisiting the film, it was great discovering things about it that I loved now that I didn't appreciate back in the early 2000s. But for me, I think this is 6.5, solid 7. Rocket?
Star count for this bad boy. Like, man, all things considered, I'm right there at 6.5. I think it's a fair movie. It might not be. It is my cup of tea, and it's not. It's so weird. I feel very juxtaposed with this movie, but I feel good with the 6.5.
Amen, brother. What about you? Name it, Ben.
So if I had to do a star count, I feel like I'm right there with Dale in like the 8.5 range.
That is Ichi the Killer. It is a tour de force and a trial. So if you think you've seen it all and you've never seen this, give it a go. It may be your cup of tea. It might not be. Regardless, it's an interesting experience.